NASCAR is just like any other sport when it comes to teams. There are the good ones, the bad ones, and the atrocious ones that everyone makes fun of for many years on end. The same thing goes with us. However, NASCAR can be a little different in a sense that any team can come up and join the top series. As long as they can pay the entry fee and that their car is race legal, they can come and race. Because of this, us NASCAR fans have been blessed, or cursed, whichever way you want to look at it, with race teams that were so bad that they made people's jaws drop in disbelief. So in today's episode, we are going to explore some of the worst teams that have competed in the Cup Series in recent history. Make sure to pull them belts extra tight today because we're going to be hitting everything except the pace car today. My name is Vanilla Wavers with NASCARFieldFailure.com, and this is 5 of the worst NASCAR teams that have raced in the Cup Series in recent memory. Number 5, the number 90 car for Keyed Up Motorsports. If you do not know who this team is, don't worry, we only saw them race in 2 Cup races. Keyed Up Motorsports was a NASCAR Cup team that formed in 2010 by Raymond Key and was driven by none other than Casey Mears. The team's plan was to run the first 7 races and then the rest of the schedule would be determined by sponsorship backing. Although they were able to find some sponsorship to back up their team, their efforts were lackluster to say the best. They missed the first 4 races due to not qualifying for the event and only finished 30th in one of the races that they made. Casey Mears was let go from the team after a 6th race in favor of Scott Riggs, who was without a ride for the 2010 season. Riggs would be able to make the following race at Phoenix, however the number 90 car would see the outside wall before the race would end, thus ending their night early. The team would decide to go on hiatus until sponsorship could be found to help fund the team. Sadly, that would never come to pass, so the team decided to suspend operations and would never be seen in the sport again. Number 4, the number 71 team of TRG Motorsports, a team that had a Hall of Famer in their equipment. The Racers Group Motorsports was a team that came from sports car series and decided to take a chance in the world of NASCAR. They ran a few years in the Nationwide series before they decided to move up into the Cup series in 2009. Nothing was too spectacular for the team in their first season, as David Gilliland, running most of the races, had only 1 top 10 in the Las Vegas race. The next year, the team decided to go big with the 2000 NASCAR champion Bobby Labonte to drive the number 71 Tax Slayer Chevy full-time in 2010. Bobby Labonte had just come off one of his worst seasons with a team known as Hall of Fame Racing, so at this point he was just looking for some decent equipment to run in the top series. Unfortunately, that would never come to pass. In the first 16 races of the season, the team would never be able to finish in the top 20. This was mostly due to the fact that sponsorship woes was starting to affect the team, which forced them to start and park most of the races they attended, which caused Labonte to part ways with the team. The team would scramble for replacement drivers throughout the 2010 season, and shockingly, they were able to finish 35th in the owner points, which guaranteed them a starting spot in the first 5 races of the following year. This gave the team a chance to introduce Andy Lally into the Cup Series to run for the Rookie of the Year honors. Again, however, the 2011 season would be even worse than in 2010, with a best finish of 19th and multiple did not qualify in the season. This would cause the team to fall out of the top 35 in owner points, causing the team to suspend operations before the 2012 season. The team would leave the sport in favor of the WeatherTech Sports Car Series, thus leaving the sport that left them with 1 top 10 in their 3-year span. Number 3, the number 44 team of New York Racing. Now we move on to one of the more sleazier teams in the sport. NY Racing was owned by John Cohen and has been around the sport for quite some time actually. The team made their NASCAR Cup Series debut in 2012 with David Rudiman. Even though the team only had a 40th place finish, the team felt confident enough to go full-time the very next season in the Cup Series with Scott Riggs. However, that would never happen, as the team would struggle for sponsorship and would be forced to start and park most of their races. They were only able to attempt 9 races and had a best finish of 41st. Back then, 43 cars would run for the race. The next couple of years, the team would keep running part-time. However, it seemed like wherever they went, controversy would follow. In 2014, the team would acquire assets from Swan Racing, a team that was running full-time the year before. However, funding for that team would soon fall through. The agreement would be that NY Racing team would continue to run the number 30 machine. However, NY Racing would change the number the very next week, causing uproar with the suspended team. Karma would bite them back as they would blow 3 engines thereafter, causing their season to cut short once again with a best finish of 34th. The next year would get only crazier as the team wrecked their only car in their qualifying run in the Daytona 500. Somehow, that team was able to get a backup down to Daytona Beach in order to qualify the car into the Daytona Duels. It was considered to many as the biggest underdog story in Speed Weeks that year. The next week they would withdraw from Atlanta after it was reported that their car, truck, and hauler were stolen from a hotel parking lot. The race car and truck that was hauling the trailer were soon recovered within a couple of days. However, the trailer and spare racing parts remained missing. Believe it or not, it would only get worse for the team as they would not qualify for the following 3 races, and their owner, John Cohen, was facing his own civil arrest warrant, thus ending their 2015 run 6 weeks deep into the season. We would not see the team make another attempt until the 2018 Coca-Cola 600, where JJ Yeley would bring the car home to a 38th place finish. Now, there were rumors at the beginning of the year that the team was going to return full time in the 2021 season. However, no one has heard from them since, thus causing us to believe that this team has finally ceased operations. A suspicious way for a suspicious team to end their career. Number 2, Team BK Racing. NY Racing might have been a sleazy team, but they were nothing compared to BK Racing in the mid-2010s. BK Racing bought all of the assets from the defunct Red Bull Racing team for $10 million. They would mostly run 2 cars throughout their lifespan, the number 83 and number 23. They would mostly run Burger King and Dr. Pepper as their main sponsors. Nobody thought too much of this, since the owner of the team, Rob Devine, was a Burger King franchise owner. Plus, Burger King themselves said that they had a licensing agreement with the team. Come to find out, that was only to put stickers on the car and had nothing to do with money. The team did about as well as Scott Speed did back in 2009. Their finishes were mostly 26 or worse, with a top 20 coming once every 8 races. Fun fact, this is where Alex Bowman and Matty Benedetto got their starts in the Cup Series. However, their average finishes would be around 32nd, just to give you an idea on how bad this team was off the pace. Surprisingly though, they would keep staying in the sport, racking up multiple sponsors and drivers to be with their team. Hell, at one point they were a 3-car operation with the help of Anthony Marlowe, a partner of the previously mentioned Swan Racing. In 2016, they even purchased a part of Michael Waltrip Racing equipment and employees, giving them Toyota support. All this time, however, their finishes were still around the low 30s, with a top 10 coming up once a year. How was that even possible for a team? Well, it turned out Rob Devine owned a lot of money to the bank. Turns out no money was given to BK Racing with the Burger King and Dr. Pepper sponsors. In fact, it was more of a ploy to make the team look like they were rolling in sponsorship money, when in all reality, they weren't sponsored at all. In 2018, Union Bank and Trust say that the team owed them $9.1 million on a loan that included its 2 charters as collateral. The courts decided that the team would be operated by Matthew Smith after this of the Finley Group, a trustee with the Finley Group. By the end of the year, BK Racing would be liquidated and have the assets go to Front Row Motorsports, another team that BK Racing owed millions to. The last race the team would be a part of would be the 2018 Homestead Miami race, where they finished in a spot that fit them the best, 32nd, multiple laps down. And number 1, the number 97 of Obaika Racing. This one is something, to say the least. And believe it or not, it's the newest team that we are going to mention on this list. Obaika Racing first started out in the Xfinity Series as a 1-car operation in 2015. The results weren't that good, as they were only able to muster a 30th place finish in the owner point standings at year's end. The next year they would become a 2-car operation, with 1 car running half the races, and somehow the team was able to pull worse results, with their primary team finishing 34th and their secondary team finishing 46th in the owner points. This would be a good time to remind you that this is the Xfinity Series, a series that is kind of compared to as the minor leagues to the Cup Series. By 2017, the team shut down near the beginning of the season after they announced that they would run 2 full-time race teams, and it seemed like whatever opportunity the team had to make it into the top series was cut short, and the team would never see the light of day. However, the team was able to come back. In 2018, the team appeared randomly in a Charlotte race in September for an Xfinity race. However, they didn't even qualify. Then it was announced that BK Racing Team, yes, the one mentioned earlier, had sold some of their assets to the team. That meant that they were not only coming back, but they were coming back to compete in the Cup Series. Obaika Racing's first attempt would be at Talladega Superspeedway, but since they did not qualify for that race, they decided to attempt the final 3 races, which they made every single one. Now, to no surprise, this team did not perform that well at all. In fact, they looked like a discount version of BK Racing. Actually, they did. Look at this car. You can clearly see the 23 BK Racing sticker underneath. They would wind up finishing 39th, 31st, and 38th. The team thought it was good enough for the team to go full-time in 2019, which they announced at the NASCAR Hall of Fame Center out of all the places. However, when Daytona Speedway came up that year, Obaika Racing withdrew from the event. In fact, they were never seen on the racetrack ever again. Many rumors circulated regarding what happened to this team that caused them to miss the 2019 season. One of my favorite rumors that I've seen is that the team owner put a title loan on the hauler so he could pay his employees through the winter. However, he could not pay back the loan before Daytona started, which resulted in the team not making it to any other race for the 2019 season. Not 100% sure if this is true, but if it is, damn. That is one way to lose your race team. After the COVID-19 pandemic, the team would close its doors for good, thus ending one of the worst teams to start in Cup Series in recent memory. And that's all for today's episode. Was there any teams that we missed out? Make sure to let us know down in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our channel at NASCARFieldFiller.com. Thank you so much for listening to the best and trying out all the rest. This has been Vanilla Wafers, and you all take care.